Douglas MacArthur. Douglas MacArthur is the top Allied commander in the Philippines who orders a retreat in early 1942 as Japanese forces take Luzon. Airfields fall and naval support disappears. Troops move toward Bataan under pressure. Defensive lines form as supplies shrink. Filipino and American troops prepare for a final stand. Why did this retreat turn into a trapped position instead of a temporary defense? MacArthur followed War Plan Orange to hold Bataan while awaiting reinforcement. Japanese control of sea and air routes cut off supply lines. No food or ammunition could reach Bataan. What was meant to be a delay became isolation. The defense became a fight that could not be sustained. His role remains part of the story of Bataan and the Pacific War. Jose Calugas. Jose Calugas is an enlisted soldier who faces a collapsing line in Bataan in early 1942. Artillery positions come under bombardment as enemy forces push forward. A key gun falls silent. He runs through enemy fire to reach the position. He restores the gun and brings it back into action. Why would restoring a single gun matter in a collapsing defense? Artillery was critical to holding each sector. If one position failed, enemy forces could break through. Calugas restored firepower that protected nearby units. His action delayed advancing forces as supplies ran out. This helped prevent a faster collapse of the line. He later received the Medal of Honor for his actions in Bataan. Edward King Jr. Edward King Jr. is the commanding general who faces total collapse in April 1942. Food is gone, and soldiers are weakened by hunger and disease. Ammunition runs low as positions can no longer be held. Medical units are overwhelmed. The defensive line can no longer resist. Why did surrender become the only option despite continued fighting? With no food, no medicine, and no reinforcements, the defense could not continue. King faced the collapse of an entire army with no chance of relief. He surrendered on April 9, 1942, to prevent total destruction. But surrender did not mean safety for the soldiers. It marked the beginning of something far worse. His decision marked the turning point that led to the Death March. Teofilo Yldefonso. Teofilo Yldefonso is an Olympic medalist forced into war as a soldier in Bataan in 1942. From representing the Philippines, he is now forced into war. After surrender, he is captured and made to march inland. Prisoners move under extreme heat with almost no food or water. Many collapse as guards force them to keep moving. Why did so many fail to survive even after the fighting ended? Most were already weakened by months of starvation and disease. They were forced to march long distances under brutal conditions. Those who fell behind were beaten or left without help. There was little to no medical support along the route. The march turned surrender into one of the deadliest phases of the war. He is remembered as both an Olympic hero and a symbol of sacrifice. Fidel V. Segundo. Fidel V. Segundo is a commanding general who becomes a prisoner after the fall of Bataan in 1942. He is taken alongside thousands regardless of rank. Officers and enlisted men were treated the same under harsh conditions. Leadership no longer provides protection once captured. He endures the same treatment faced by ordinary prisoners. Why did rank and status no longer matter after capture? The number of prisoners overwhelmed any organized system. Japanese forces processed prisoners as a single mass. There was no structure to separate or protect officers. All were subjected to forced movement and confinement. Capture erased distinctions that once defined command. He is remembered as a general who shared the same fate as his soldiers. Jose Abad Santos. Jose Abad Santos is the Chief Justice who faces occupation after Bataan falls. Civilian leaders are pressured to cooperate with the new regime. He is asked to recognize the authority of occupying forces. He refuses despite the risk to his life. His decision places him in direct danger. Why refuse, when cooperation could mean survival? As Chief Justice, he represented the legitimate Philippine government. Accepting occupation would legitimize foreign control. He chose loyalty to the Republic over personal safety. Japanese forces executed those who refused to cooperate. His decision defined resistance beyond the battlefield. He is honored as a national hero for his principles. Vicente Lim. Vicente Lim is a senior military leader who continues to resist after the fall of Bataan. He had led troops through the same collapsing defense. After capture, he remains a threat. He refuses to cooperate with occupying forces. His defiance places him under constant watch. Why did resistance continue even after defeat seemed final? Officers who could inspire resistance were seen as ongoing threats. Even without an army, their influence remained powerful. Japanese forces removed these leaders to prevent uprisings. He was later imprisoned and executed for refusing to cooperate. The fight continued through those who refused to submit. He is honored as a symbol of military resistance and sacrifice. Josefa Llanes Escoda. Josefa Llanes Escoda is a teacher, social worker, and the person who established the Girl Scouts, who turns resistance into action during the occupation. She witnesses prisoners moving under brutal conditions during the march. Civilians secretly offer food and water. Helping prisoners becomes punishable. She joins underground efforts. Why did helping others become an act of defiance? Any aid to prisoners was treated as resistance by occupying forces. Civilians risked arrest, torture, or execution for helping. Escoda continued her work despite these risks. She was later arrested and executed for refusing to cooperate. Her story connects the suffering of the march to the courage that followed. She appears on the Philippine 1,000 peso bill with Jose Abad Santos and Vicente Lim.